Welcome everyone, and welcome again to my channel. So this is the seventh week of gains and losses on my account on the stock market, and you see that on the last week the portfolio I have in Canadian dollar was 270,721. So if we look to what actually I have today, and let me see, yeah, it is actually on the screen. The gain is actually significant, right? So you see that all this gain, and the majority of it is actually coming because the stock market went up. So it's 279,905, right? So let's take a look on the secondary monitor, and here you can see my Excel spreadsheet, which I'm actually maintaining every week. And this week I was making around 1300 US dollars, and I was very busy with work. I had to work to go to work every day of the week, so I was not able to spend almost at all time on the stock market, but still I was able to make a little bit of money because I have invested in the previous week. So I have bought TMO when it was going down, and on Wednesday it went up, and I made around you see in here 357 on RRSP and 117 on TFSA, right? Edit and Etsy, I've done the same. When those were down around a week ago, I actually double up, and on Wednesday and Thursday I sold the same amount which I actually bought a week ago, and I made this amount of money. This morning AMAT, which is a company building, working for companies NVIDIA and so on, building, for semiconductors, they were down like 14%. And I wanted to buy $5,000 of shares, and I make a mistake, and actually I bought 50,000 before the market actually started, and it went down right after I bought like $1. So I was losing like $300 right off the bat. And I had a meeting at 9:30, and during the meeting I was looking. The stock market was started at 9:30, and that particular account was making me like $500 because it went up maybe a couple of dollars, right, from 14% down to 11%. And I tried to sell, and by the time, right, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, I was trying to sell. I couldn't really sell because the stock was so volatile, and I was able to sell for 258 instead of 500. So it went down in a minute, right, from 500 to 258. So anyway, this is what it is, right, for this week. And if you see from the beginning, when I have started to do those videos, in the first month, the first 4 weeks, I made 3,900 US dollars, and for the rest weeks, fifth, sixth, and this week together 4,421. So 8,000 US dollars multiplied by 138. Actually, it is currently. This is probably, you can say a good salary for each of the months, like almost $5,000, $6,000, right? Which is great. But again, let's remember that the market was actually very good. Now, let me show it to you very quickly what actually happened with the stock market this week. So you'll see that today S&P 500 is almost around 0%, but look at this number, 6,457. Probably this is the maximum for S&P 500 ever, right? So some companies went up, some companies went down, like usual. Interesting is this company, HBI. So HBI, as you remember, guys, I told you that I'm not so confident in this company. Hannes Brands, they have sold the Champion brand, and whatever they are doing, it's actually really old. Let's say a little bit tired. Products they are doing, right? Like they don't have a new line or anything. So usually the price were around $4.70. In April it went up to $8. But what happened actually this week, this company has been acquired by a Canadian company named Gildan, and because of that the price you see right here went up from $4.83 to $6.50, right? So you never know. This is why I'm telling you that Doesn't matter what you think about a company, you don't have all the details, and you never know what's gonna happen. So it went up, right, like 33%, and if you have money into it, definitely you could make a good amount. Some other company which really went up, look at STXX, right? They have very good results. So I was playing with it around, 220, 230, and it went up to 290 recently, right? Etsy, it went up to $67, $68. Actually, it's up, going a little bit down, right? So pretty much everything, all those companies are going up. Sometimes a good company like this one is going down for the various reasons, but it will not going to stay down for long, right? So that's what's happening with the companies. Now, let me show it to you as well what I have into my account. So I have cash, you see, on the RRSP 134,000 out of 160. I'm losing only 2,000, which is good. I'm happy about it. Those are the account I still left on the RRSP. So you see that the majority I'm actually losing with IBM $1,000 and with Lockheed Martin another 245. I don't have an issue; those companies are going to come back, right? So we are doing pretty good. Now on the TFSA I have a single account which is UNH, and now I'm losing $1,000 300, and I have catch 31,000. That's another piece of information which is actually very interesting. UNH is a company which is doing medical insurance, and it was one of the company very wealthy. And recently the stock went down from $600 to $250. I bought when it was going down. I have $10,000 invested at $350. And it was still going down, right? So I was losing around $2,500. But what happened is Berkshire, they both invested a big amount, I don't know, a few million shares. So United Health rises 10% as Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway acquire new stake, right? So if you take a look how much those guys they invested, let me see. I know that I read somewhere it was a really big amount. Acquire 5 million shares, right? Value at 1.57 billion. So the reason for that is it's a good company in reality, right? There is not a very good reason why the shares are actually so low, right? Regardless of what's happening. And look what's happening in October 7, it was almost $600. And again, that was in March, it was 500 whatever, and now it's 300, right? But it's going up, and the reason for that is because, a big investor started to buy into it. So definitely this is a buy. Now, on Yahoo market, not too much happening. The reason the market is up is because the job market is actually very bad, and everybody's expecting to be a cut into the interest rate from the Federal Reserve in September. So this is why the market is doing so good. The dollar is 138. It's keeping on that value. Now the Canadian, news, they are not so encouraging. We have, I think, tax on canola oil. China actually did that for oil coming from Canada, right? And they put like 75% tariff on it. So definitely this is still affecting all the economies, the tariff war. But, if you are careful, like I'm trying to keep the majority of money in cash and still play the market, you are still able to do, some amount. And you see here on the screen, let me go back to where it is. On my secondary monitor, I made from November up to now 23,338 US dollars. If you multiply by 138, it's 32,206 Canadian dollars. So definitely you can say this is 1 year of retirement, right? So if every year from now to retirement I will make 1 year of retirement, I will have another 8 years, right? Aside of those 400,000 Canadian I have invested into the market. So definitely, guys, there is hope at the end of the tunnel. If big crashes are not going to happen, and wars and those type of things, which are really you cannot do anything about it, right? And they are really disrupting for the life of everybody. We can manage the rest. So with that in mind, I wish you to have a good weekend with your family and friends. I hope it was not too long. Stay into my 10 minutes every week. And guys, if you have any question, or you can put it into the commentary, I will try to answer it. Again, what I'm actually trying to show is that a regular person without really a lot of knowledge into the economics and capital markets and shares and those type of things is still able to make some income, right? Or some gains, let's put it this way. Thank you again. Have a good weekend. See you next week. Bye for now.